Hey Tribe, my name is Tanya and I am with Align Mentor LLC. And what we do over here at Align Mentor is help you build the back end of your business. Tonight's masterclass is going to be on the tech stack, the things that you need to run the back end of any webinar or masterclass or any kind of virtual teaching that you do, whatever platform you're doing it on. So I'm going to run through kind of quickly the things that you could definitely benefit from having. I do have a checklist for you that I'll give out at the end, as well as a couple of other bonuses so that you'll have visual aids because I think that is super important. So we're going to start with you need a platform such as Zoom in order to host your webinar or your masterclass. You can use Zoom, Webinar Jam. There's something called Demio, Demio, Ever Webinar, and StreamYard or Restream is sort of the same platform. The one that I use all the time is Zoom. I do have the paid Zoom account. I think it's $150 a year. You're going to want something that allows you to have 90 minutes uninterrupted with 100 room for at least 100 participants. You won't need more than that in the beginning, but you're eventually going to need to scale up and you're going to want bigger and bigger platforms. The next thing that you're going to need is something for your registration. You're going to need a funnel. So it's called a lead magnet or a opt-in page. Basically, it's a funnel. And what that does is it allows people to know what you're teaching, what you're providing, like what a whole snapshot. And it goes into something called a CRM, which is a client relation management tool. And there are platforms out there that allow you to have the CRM and the funnel building technology all in the same platform. So what a platform is, it's so like ClickFunnels is a platform. Go High Level is a platform. Beacons is a platform. It's a place where you host a whole bunch of stuff. And I'll go into that a little bit more in a moment. So it's either ClickFunnels, Go High Level, there's something called Lead Pages or Converter Kit. All of those are funnel builders. You're going to want that tool to also be able to do email marketing for you and automations. So what email marketing is, so we're going to talk about the CRM again for a second. A client relation management tool is every interaction that you have with your client. As soon as they come into your system, your email list is the most important thing to your business. It holds everything. It holds all of your client details. It holds every interaction that you've ever had with them. Every email that you've sent out, any SMS texting that you send out with them. Some platforms are advanced enough that if they reach out to you through Insta or Facebook, all of those things will go straight into the CRM and any response that you do in that platform. So like if I respond to somebody who sent something to me in Instagram and I respond in Instagram, there are some platforms that actually will register all of that in your CRM so that when you go into that specific client's page on the CRM, you will see every interaction that you've had with them. And that's important because then you know if they're married, which products of yours that they have purchased in the past, if they haven't purchased products, but they're interested in certain things, how they came into your system, like how they know you. And that can be very important as a marketing tool because when you want to target all of your clients that haven't actually purchased that you got through Instagram, you'll be able to send either an SMS texting campaign or an email marketing campaign directly to just those clients without touching anybody else in your CRM. So you'll be able to tailor what are called nurture sequences or email campaigns to specific areas. If you're, let's say you have 1,000 people in your CRM and you're launching a brand new product and you want all the people in your CRM to receive a 20% off coupon, you can offer that to them. And because they're in your CRM, you just send to everybody in the CRM that that opportunity. But if you don't want everybody in the CRM to have that, but only want people that have already made a purchase from you, then you can tailor it to those specific individuals as well. Excuse me. So if you have any questions or if I'm going too fast, please let me know. Just go ahead and put it in the chat. So the email marketing and automations, that's what we were talking about. So for email marketing, there are a couple of different ones that you can use. There's Active Campaign, there's Converter Kit, there's MailerLite. There's also ClickFunnels and High Level. I'm going to recommend High Level because that's the platform that I love right now. It has all of these tools. It's inexpensive. And the only thing it doesn't have is the Zoom, as far as I'm concerned. So for your email, you're going to be you want to be able to send out a registration confirmation. You're going to want to send out a reminder 24 hours before your webinar. You're going to want to send out a 1 hour before email, and then you're going to want to send one out 10 minutes before the webinar starts. Then you want to send one 10 minutes after, letting everybody know that it started and that they can come on and they haven't missed anything yet. And then depending on how you want your campaign to run, there are follow-up emails that you can send to those registrants. For instance, if you want to send out your replay, you can send out the 24-hour later, here's the replay, you only have 48 hours to watch it, and then you can send out a 48-hour after the webinar. And all of these are in your, you build the emails in the campaign, and then you build the automation so that the automation automatically sends it out for you. Once you build it, test it, make sure it works, then you don't have to worry about it. So if somebody comes into your campaign, you're going to have the confidence to know that your system that you have pre-built is already doing that for you. And it's just going to go ahead and send out those emails, and you could be cooking dinner or on the beach or fast asleep, right? It doesn't matter. You won't have to stop what you're doing and respond to them. The automation is going to take care of that for you. The next thing that you're going to need for your masterclass is a slide deck. And my favorite tool for that is Canva. You can use PowerPoint, Google Slides, or any other tool that offers you the ability to make slides. But I think Canva is such a versatile tool. It builds a lot of my things for me. And we're going to talk again about your CRM. You definitely want to have a CRM. HubSpot has a free version of the CRM. High Level and ClickFunnels and Active Campaign also have CRMs. You are going to need some form of sales page, checkout page, a way to collect payments. So you're going to need a payment processor, something along the lines of Samcart, Thrive, or even Stripe or PayPal. I use Stripe personally, but there are some people love it, some people hate it. You're going to find the processor that works best for you and your business. You need that, and you need that set up on your platform so that once you do your call to action and you make your offer, there is a way for the registrants to go ahead, fill that registration form out, make a payment, and you automatically receive that. So you don't have to go chasing people down for payments or anything like that. You're going to need a payment processor. Other things that you are definitely going to want, maybe not in the beginning, but you're going to want to think about having these things for you in the future. So you're going to need a platform that offers you analytics and reportings because you're going to want to know how many people looked at your page without clicking, how many people clicked, how many people clicked and didn't register. You're going to want to know these things because those pieces of information can help you make your copy, the stuff that you put in your funnel, more dynamic and better able to capture people's informations, because the entire goal is to get their name, email address, and phone number to eventually convert them to individuals that know, like, and trust you and are willing to purchase with you. Once they know, like, and trust you and have purchased with you the one time, like all that work going into getting that first sale, once they're a customer, they're like 42% more likely to purchase from you again. So your repeat customer is far less cost exertive on your part, not just in financials, but also in raw doing. What's the word I'm looking for here? You know what I'm talking about, like your efforts. That's the word I'm looking for. So you're going to want tools that allow you to look at the analytics of what's going on so that you can learn, tweak, and go. Some of the KPIs, right? The key performance indicators that you'll be looking for are your registration rate, the show up rate, like, because just because somebody registers doesn't mean they're actually going to show up. And then if you do things like polls or things inside your webinar to engage your individuals, and you absolutely should be doing that, asking questions that require responses, which I have not done. um, your offer conversion rate. So like once you present your call to action, you want to know what the percentage is of individuals that go ahead and take you up on that offer. And then if you offer a replay, because not everybody offers replays, and there's schools of thought on sending replays out, because a lot of people don't watch the replay, and some people insist on sending the replays out. So it really is going to work with you, your clientele, and what you decide is best for your business. Let me look at the chat real quick. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback, ladies. I really do. Okay. So there are platforms that offer you integrations and automations, things like Zapier. And what that does is it connects all of your apps without you having to learn how to code. Make. What Make does is it allows you to create very complex automations and workflows. 6 weeks. 6 weeks is what I recommend to do it. Let me clarify on that. So the question is, how long would you suggest doing marketing before an event? It really is going to depend on the type of event that you're doing. If you're doing just a quick webinar like this, you want to do 10 days. If you're launching a book, or you're launching a big program, or you're doing some a brand new product, you're going to want to do something that is a little bit more lengthy. And one of the things that one of the gifts that I'm going to be giving you is actually a tool that helps you figure out how to go about your launch. That's one of the things that I'll be giving away to you today. I'll show that to you in a few minutes. Okay, so some of the other things that you want to consider for having included in your tech stack are your microphone, your camera, your lighting. You want to make sure that people can see and hear you. Your backdrop. I created this one in Canva. You want something that's going to help make you pop so that people can see you and they're not distracted by the husband, the dog, the whatever, right? The children, whatever's going on behind you. So you want to be able to do that. If you're able, to have multiple computers or multiple screens, right? Like, so for me right now, I have the laptop set up and I have a couple of monitors, which will help you with things like teleprompting, right? So if you want to have your notes on a different screen so that you can kind of go through it without seeming like you're reading something directly off a page, there are, thank you, I appreciate that. Yes. So yeah, for a challenge, 3 to 5 days is good. Um, long enough for you to get your stuff built, set up, and ready to go. Once you do the back end, once you build the funnel, you build the automation, you set up the email and or SMX, I can't say it, the texting. Once you have set those systems up, you can reuse them. So we're going to talk a minute about having to have a domain. What teleprompter app would I suggest? Give me 1 second. I'll tell you which one I use. Uh, where is it? Okay, so the one I use is actually just called teleprompter. Um, and the app picture sort of it's red with some white stuff on it. It's got the little clapper thing like a movie clapper. Um $150 a year or something along those lines. So I can use it with my phone, right? Um I can just put the script, I can add the script directly in it. So if I'm doing a live, I can have the teleprompt tell me what I want to say. So if you want to make sure that you're hitting specific key points in a live, you can do that. And you can with this teleprompter specifically, you can speed up, you can slow down, you can set the pace. I haven't played with it enough to know how much spacing you can put in it and stuff like that, but all of that is, I'm sure, doable, right? Like, so if you want to take a break and talk about something else, I think you can pause. I've only used it a couple of times. Um, I definitely use it when I'm doing course creation, because when you're creating an online course to put on one of your platforms, you want to make sure that you're hitting every key point in that module so that it's there for you. It is. It's absolutely helpful. So, we're talking about monitors. We were talking, if you don't have a Canva background, you could get a backdrop. Um, you can use curtains or a shower curtain, and you can just set it up on some poles. You can get some of those foldable Japanese screens, privacy screens. Those things are beautiful, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can address your background. You can create a dynamic, wonderful backgrounds in Canva so that as you do different things for different aspects of your business, you can change that around. So that's kind of why I like Canva, because, on this Zoom, I have this background up, and then I go to another Zoom and I can switch the background real quick, and I don't have to worry about the dog in the background or the husband walking by, that kind of thing. Um, all right. So some of the other things that you might find useful, Google Forms. So if you want to send out post webinar surveys and you're looking for specific information from the individuals that showed up, a Google form or a Jot form or something along that will help you. Some of those platforms have that option, like High Level has an option where you can send out forms and surveys. ManyChat. ManyChat is an external platform that handles setting up AI responses. So when somebody sends you a DM and Insta or Facebook, your AI automatically responds to them. ManyChat does that, but so does High Level. Trello. Trello is a project management tool, and I actually I love Trello. A lot of people have never even heard of it. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to show you Trello here in a moment because I actually created what I call the webinar back end planning template, and that's one of the bonuses for you. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you the Trello board real quick. Just bear with me for a moment. If you could let me know if you see the board, I would appreciate that. Where is my chat?
Yes, we can see it.
Awesome. Thank you. What Trello looks like, and start here. So how to plan it, and there's how to use Trello. So you can embed links directly. You can change the cover. You can do all of these lovely things. So here is a beautiful little checklist for you. Set your time, decide your topic. You're going to want to enable your registration. You want calendar system. I didn't even talk about that, and that's super important. You want to be able to have a platform that will allow you to sync it with your Google Calendar or whatever calendar that you utilize so that you don't overlap things. Whether you use Calendly or whatever, High Level also has a calendar function. We're going to talk about High Level in a few minutes. But so you can go through here and you can look at all the things that I have included, the things that you want to make sure that you put when you're building your funnel, all the things that you want to make sure that you have when you build your funnel, your email automation. And what's lovely about this is after you have all of that and you decide that you actually want to put the copy for each of the individuals in here, all you have to do is come up here and then paste it in here or just write it in here, if I can spell correctly. And that way you have all of your copy here so that the next time that you go to look at your funnel, because sometimes platforms get a little wonky and things change, you have an external copy of everything that's on that funnel. So if something gets corrupted, you have an easy way to back it up and you don't have to recreate it. So that's another use for this specific thing. And I will be giving you a copy of this right here. So it's got a checklist of about everything that I talked about in this masterclass so far. Does anybody have any questions for me? No? Okay. All right. All right. Now, where did I put them? Okay. So I created for you in here. So you will be getting a copy of it. When you open up your Trello, you'll be able to open it up. So all I did was I went into the webinar planning checklist and there are some attachments. The webinar mind map. So I have a blank one and I have one that's sort of filled out to give you ideas on things that you want to add into it. So right here in the center, whether it's your book launch or it's your webinar or it's your product launch or whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to put what that is and the date in the middle. And then you're going to want to plan out your Facebook campaign, your Instagram campaign, your TikTok. You're going to want to do all of these different things. You want to make sure your landing page is built. You want to make sure that your emails are ready. Are you going to be putting it on YouTube when you're done? What targets do you want to meet? What metrics do you want to meet? So all of these things you put on here, you can loosely use what I have here. You can change it specific towards exactly what your product launch is or your class is on. So for here, what it would be a how-to webinar. So 10 days we talked about for a webinar, right? So I would want to make sure that my landing page was built and ready to go 10 days beforehand. So I would put the date in here. And then you can either color it in, check it off, or you can just build a checklist inside Trello. Okay. Things like that. The other thing that I want to talk about real quick, and it just went away from me for a second. I'm gonna pull that back up because I had a thought, it ran away. Where did it go? Outline. It's gonna come back to me. All right. Okay. Probably something to do with the platform. Okay. The other thing that I have in here for you is your closing script. So once you have made your presentation, you're going to ask, I hope today was valuable, and I'd like to take 5 minutes of your time. Do I have your permission? Something along that line, like, do I have your permission to present an offer to you? You want them to be engaged in that. So you're going to build this based on what you're actually selling. Okay. And then you're going to actually tell them specifically what they get and what the results will be. You want to create a little bit of urgency because that's important. So this entire thing is going to be in this Trello board that I send you. Okay. Another, is it in here? No, of course not. All right. Let me find the other thing that I wanted to share with you real quick. Where did it go? Bear with me for one moment. I appreciate your patience. Do that. Okay. All right. Can you see my screen? No, you can't because I'm not sharing it. All right. There we go. Okay. So you can see the screen now. I'm hoping. Yes. Yes. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So this right here under the features is a lot of the different things that we talked about tonight. Your CRM. We didn't even talk about what a pipeline is, but basically what a pipeline is once you create your automation and send out your registration form for whatever it is, people come into your system, into your CRM. You can create what's called a pipeline, so you can measure where they are in a pipeline, whether they have just registered, whether they have purchased, whether you've closed, whether you need to reach back out to them, and you can build specific automations to address just those individuals. A lot of systems allow you to do something called tag, and what a tag does is when somebody comes into your system, you set up a word or phrase so that you know how they came into your system. I use things like masterclass, or ebook, or specific masterclass. You could put masterclass and then you put the date so you know exactly when they came into your system. And this helps you when you're doing your campaign so that you tailor specifically to that group of individuals. We talked about that earlier. So the CRM, your pipeline management, sales funnels, your website builder, surveys and forms, your email marketing, SMS marketing, your booking calendar, your workflow automations. You can put courses and courses and products in here. You can create an online store. You can handle your reputation management. There's so much that can happen in here. And this says that it's $297 per month. However, all of this and a Facebook group, introductory price at $97 per month on my platform, Align Mentor, which is basically high level. I'm going to be very transparent. It is the high level platform under my branding. I have a $297 per month, which includes all of that above, as well as every 2 weeks we'll do a group training class, and it'll be on things that you guys are telling me that you need from me, and what's called a masterclass snapshot. So it'll be pre-built things inside the platform for you so that it automatically comes up and you're able to immediately go ahead and implement it. And then I have a $497 per month, which includes all of the above, as well as 2 private one-on-ones with me during that month and a private WhatsApp group. So this is what we call the call to action. So you just let everybody know that they can purchase these things from you. So this is a platform that I have that handles all of the things that we talked about earlier. So whenever you are ready, you just let me know and we'll get you set up. Does anybody have any questions for me at this time? Is there anything you would like me to re-go over for you?
Hey, Tanya, thank you so much. This is Shay. I really enjoyed this masterclass.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with us. The landing page, I've heard people talk about that from time to time. The landing page can be something that's, a little simpler than per se going out and getting a whole website created, especially when you don't have a lot of things to put on a website. So what is that like? Because what's the
So
difference between a landing page and a website?
it's an
Just
excellent question, Shay. So a website is where you put everything, right? And traditional businesses have websites, and they have their blog on it, they have their about page, and industry standards are changing. 10 years ago, it was mandatory for you to have a website where you had everything. In today's age, that's a little bit overwhelming, right? And a lot of people don't have the time to peruse a standard website, nor do they have the inclination to do so. They're looking for a specific piece, and that's where your landing page or your sales funnel comes in, right? So you can build a simplified version of just that one specific product that you're selling at the time and put it on the specific landing page. Now, your website can have all of your products on it, but with a landing page, you can focus on one course or one ebook or one whatever, right? Like whatever you're selling, you can go with that. Which does remind me of the thing that I thought was wanted to talk to you about, your domain, right? So you can purchase your domain through things like GoDaddy or Namecheap or Ionos, but you need a platform to host that on. I mean, some of those do offer the platform as well, but then they don't necessarily have the CRM, or they don't have a way for you to do your email marketing there. So you want a platform that will allow you to do all of that. Once you purchase your domain, which is example.com, right? Or tanyamarie.com, right? So that's the domain. When you are building your landing pages for your master classes or your products, there's something called a subdomain. You do not have to purchase subdomains. You can have as many subdomains as you need. The way to really describe that, right? So like your domain is the house, right? Your subdomain is the room in the house. So you need the address of the house in order to get there. And then you need the subdomain to know what room in the house to go to. For example, example.com/masterclass or example.com/awesome product, right? So the subdomain is just like a little add-on to the domain that lets the internet know exactly where to go. And that comes with your domain. So, and there are, you can get domains for as little as $10, ladies. They're not very expensive, and that's for a year. So basically, you're renting it out. You can put it on auto renew, which I highly recommend, because once you set something up, you can continue to generate revenue from it even after you've forgotten about it. So you set a digital product up and you've priced it, it's out there, and you're minding your business over here, and then suddenly there's $200 in your account, and you're like, where'd that come from? Your products are working for you while you're doing something else, which is the entire point of this, building your passive income. So that was a great question, Shay. Does anybody else have any questions? No? Okay. All right. So if anybody is interested in purchasing the platform with me, you just let me know. You can just text me. That would be fantastic. I will be sending out in the group the replay link. Give me 24 hours to do that, as well as the link for the Trello board, which has all of the resources in it. I hope this was super helpful, and I appreciate you ladies for showing up.